You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
All writers are prone to becoming so attached to our characters and stories that we struggle to see why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing to full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, shaping stories into masterpieces that can stand the test of time. Editing services are provided for all genres and all age categories. Services range from critiques of the short story through to line edits of the full-length novel and copy editing for those preparing for publication. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your websites, as well as help with those book blurbs and promotional material. We won't abandon you to the masses. We want to celebrate with you in your successes. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services and prices, visit us at blackwolfeditorial.com.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control over your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank account, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problems now by calling the experts at Tax Mediation Services and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. Tax Mediation Services is accredited by the Better Business Bureau. Call now for a free case review and a price protection guaranteed quote.
Call Tax Mediation Services now at 800-610-9050. That's 800-610-9050. 800-610-9050.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it, there to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
The following message contains a special offer for listeners of this station. Are you a man over 40? Are you constantly looking for the nearest bathroom? Do you wake up multiple times a night to use the bathroom? Right now, Perfect Prostate is sending out free bottles of their groundbreaking new formula to listeners of this station. Perfect Prostate formula was developed by medical doctor Mitchell Fleischer, and its ingredients have been clinically studied to reduce your frequent nighttime bathroom visits and promote healthy urine flow. Right now, preferred customers get their first bottle of Perfect Prostate absolutely free. There's nothing to lose. Perfect Prostate is guaranteed to reduce that constant urge to use the bathroom, especially at night, and promote healthy urine flow. Don't wait. Call now for your free bottle. Just pay shipping and processing. Dial 1-800-675-0251. That's 1-800-675-0251. Supplies are limited. One free bottle per household. Call now. Dial 1-800-675-0251. That's 1-800-675-0251.
Hey folks, I want to introduce you to a friend of mine, Dr. Richard Harden. We are on the same mission, which is waking up America. We just have different paths. So stay tuned for some information on how you can keep up with Richard and all his work.
Visit Richard's website at raharden.com. That's the World Wide Web at RAHARDIN.com. At his website, you can see a summary of the 6 books he has written, where purchases may be made. He also has a link to 18 videos on YouTube and several blogs about Christian beliefs. If you prefer, visit Amazon.com/Kindle and type in Richard Harden to see and purchase his books.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps stand ready to defend the American way of life. The few, the proud, the Marines.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it. There to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
All right, so this one here he comes. All right, so this is Rick Robinson, normal host around here. I am half dead, dying, and trying not to cough all over the air. So I have Dan sitting in with me, but we're having Skype difficulties. So I'm going to try to bring him back on again. Okay, let's try this again. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I completely lost audio, and then I completely lost my connection.
Nice. All right, so the intro is already played. Take it away.
Hey, how's everybody doing? It's Daniel Wright, and if you don't know me, I'm Rick's co-host on Friday nights, and I guess Rick kind of kicked the show off here. Rick's a little under the weather and losing his voice, which does not really translate well on radio. So I'm here, and we're going to talk about something that is kind of making me happy and bothering me at the same time to start the show off. Our new president, Donald Trump, he's not doing a terrible job. I've been pleasantly surprised, but some of the things he's doing and the way he's doing them is bothering me a little bit. I think he really needs to slow down on the EOs. There's been, he's approaching levels that go back to the 40s as far as presidents go. And what he's doing and the approach he's taking is good, but the way he's taking the approach, I don't believe is the way we should be going. An executive order was great for blocking the $221 million going to the Palestinians. I think that's what you use an executive order to do, to get it stopped quick. But he can't use an executive order for everything. He needs to be patient. It's really everybody complained about Obama's executive orders, especially towards the end here. But if you really look at it, Obama is right about on line with the executive orders George Bush used. And so we can't complain about it too much. At the rate Donald Trump's going, he's going to be at the Obama George W. Bush level by 6 months into his presidency. And we complained about the Obama executive orders, yet now all of a sudden the Republican president is doing the exact same thing. He should not have used an executive order to push Keystone. That he's got a Congress he's got the Congress and the Senate on his side now. The House and the Senate are on his side. Let it go through there. He needs to start putting stuff over there and let it move through the way it should. Because you get it pushed through and everything gets going, and in 4 years, if he doesn't win the presidency, doesn't keep the presidency, the new president could just undo all of his executive orders. So this kind of stuff really needs to go through the proper channels. And I hope he slows down. Other than that, I think a lot of what he's doing is pleasantly surprising me. Like I said, when I found out that in the 11th hour, Obama gave $221 million basically to Hamas, I was livid. I was absolutely livid. What he has done, not just over the last 8 years, but what he has done over the last month completely and totally disgusted me. And I was glad to see that was an executive order that had to happen. And I was really glad to see Trump come in and do the right thing. That was just, people talk about the word deplorable. I mean, to throw Israel under the bus with the UN and then give Israel's enemy money, one of our greatest allies. I mean, it just proves to me exactly what I've always thought Obama was. And what I think he was somebody that really, I'm not going to say he didn't love America. He just didn't love America's ideals. And I'm hoping that Donald Trump gets back to that. And like I said, hope. That's all we can do is hope. I'm getting it from all sides these days. You were never Trump because now you're just a Trump supporter. I'm not a Trump supporter. I'm a hopeful person. I'm hopeful that he will do exactly what this country needs. I don't know that he will. I talked about it on my show last night. We talked about it. My co-host on Wednesday night, Susan Swift, she's even a little bit more rah than I am, but she wasn't a huge Trump fan, but we both have the attitude that he can't be any worse than what we've had for the last 8 years. He just can't. And I hope he keeps moving along the way he is. But like I said, the executive orders need to slow down. It's for somebody like him, that little tool is probably very, very just there, and he wants to use it. He wants to wield that power. He needs to learn to control that power a little bit. It can be dangerous and it can backfire. He needs to settle back and let things take the proper channels. Now that we're all beyond that, something that I just saw, and I just saw it right before we went on the air, so I really didn't have time to take notes on it. But apparently, Mr. McMullen and his running mate, I won't say that it's actually a party or anything, but apparently they've started their own little organization to bring our democracy back, and it's looking like a very anti-Trump organization. I have a very serious problem with Evan McMullen right now. He came into the election to basically give conservatives that didn't think they had a voice and somebody to vote for, which I kind of applauded. The people behind him did a pretty good job of organizing everything and either getting him on the ballot or getting him in as a write-in. I applaud that. People worked very hard to do it. He is basically trying to start a second Democrat Party. I honestly believe that. If you look at what he has said since Trump won, and especially the last few weeks right before and right after the inauguration, he is doing everything he can to go against the Republican Party, which I'm not a part of, which I almost don't mind. I would like to see both parties basically lose power. But he is going against conservatism and calling it constitutionality, and it's not. He has people, it's almost become, everybody talks about the Trump cult. There is literally now a McMullen cult. And if you don't support exactly what he's doing, you are not American. And it's really scary to me. And like I said, it really, if you look at what he says and you look at what he does and his incessant just subtweeting of Donald Trump just constantly, he's literally trying to form another liberal party. He is not a conservative. I will go out on a limb and say that. He is not. He goes against everything Donald Trump says or does, no matter what. That's not how it's supposed to be. I will not give the President of the United States, I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's the second coming of Ronald Reagan. I do not give them the benefit of the doubt on anything. They have to prove to me that they're going to do what I want them to do. And Evan McMullen is not giving him a chance. And he is telling people not to give him a chance. And that is not the way things are supposed to work. We all gave Obama a chance. To some of us, he succeeded. To some of us, he failed miserably. But for the most part, people gave him a chance. When he was inaugurated, we didn't riot in the streets. We didn't break the glass out of McDonald's. We didn't have a quote-unquote women's march that excluded women that didn't believe in all the things that the promoters wanted. It was literally a march to protest Donald Trump and to be pro-abortion, pro-Palestinian, and pro-Sharia law. That is what the march was. We didn't do that with Obama. I'm not going to say there weren't fringe little protests here and there. There were. But did you ever hear about any violence? D.C. was a disaster. Between the violence on Inauguration Day and between the tons and tons and tons of trash the quote-unquote environmentalists left all over D.C., it was a disaster. And listening to these people just, say that it's a march for women's rights and literally bash Donald Trump. Listening to Madonna say that she has thoughts of blowing up the White House. These people are unhinged. And it comes right back full circle. It's people like Evan McMullin that are unhinging people. He's trying to unhinge people. He's trying to get them to do exactly what the feminists did this weekend in D.C. He wants unrest. He wants Trump to fail. These people all want him to fail. If you want the President of the United States to fail, you are un-American. You are unpatriotic. I never wanted Obama to fail. I always hoped there would be a success. There weren't many, I can tell you that, but I always hoped for them. This is the country I live in. If you do not want the President of the United States to be successful, there is something very wrong with you. And we have people like Evan McMullin that are organizing people to hope that the president fails. So you make him fail. If you want him to fail and you want to bring everybody into that, to be honest with you, the Democrats are failing. Between the House, the Senate, governor's houses, state Senate, all over the place, they've lost over 1,000 seats in the last two elections. They're failing too. If you keep pushing people like this, they're just going to keep failing. It's not going to take Trump down. It's making people support him more. It makes me support him more. It makes me say, good God, I hope he does great, because this side is losing. And again, Evan McMullin really needs to sit back and take a look at what he's doing, especially calling himself a conservative. Because, to be honest, there's other things on the horizon. There is an actual Federalist Party now, and there's still the Libertarians, and there's people like Austin Peterson, who is sitting back and planning on possibly running for the Senate in Missouri, and not sure who he wants to run with. The Libertarian Party kind of messed him up. He now has the options. He could go Republican. He could go Federalist. He could still go Libertarian. And the left is still doing what the left does and making themselves look bad. And it's a good thing as far as I'm concerned, but the scary thing is people like Evan McMullin, who are actually taking conservatives and moving them left to go against the current president. And it's scary. I mean, maybe they form another party. So we have the Republican Party, the Green Party, the Democrat Party, the Evan McMullin Party, the Federalist Party. I mean, maybe it ends up being a good thing, but to turn, he calls himself a conservative, and he's turning conservatives liberal. That's scary to me. I think it's totally counterproductive to what he actually ran on in the election. But anyway, so that's Evan McMullin. That's something that's been irking me for weeks, and it's cost me friends. But hey, if you don't want to be my friend because I don't agree with you, then maybe you were never really my friend. I actually saw the other day, I was just talking about the Women's March, and a good friend of mine posted something about the feminists, and she was very excited because Roseanne Barr pointed out to her that it wasn't just about that it was very anti-Israel. And she was very excited because just out of the blue, she gets a notification on Twitter from Roseanne Barr. And Roseanne is right. It was about everything. It was about being against everything that Donald Trump wants to do and is supporting. And for them to do that, and like I said, to bar certain women, call it a women's march, but if you're pro-life, you can't march with us. It's disingenuous and, again, completely anti-Trump. Everything that's going on is just completely anti-Trump. Let's make his presidency as hard as possible. And I personally think it's un-American. And I know you don't want to talk, Rick, but I think you feel the exact same way about it. So the next thing was something that made me laugh this morning, was watching the video of Shia LaBeouf getting arrested. Now, supposedly it was for attacking a neo-Nazi that was interrupting his little protest, which, I don't really like neo-Nazis too much either. But that video of him getting arrested and the videos that are out there from his constant feed, his constant live feed for his little protest is absolutely hilarious. I have like a new thing in the morning now. That's look up the Shia LaBeouf protest feed, because these people are cult-like, and to watch him get arrested and watch them trying to block the camera so you can't see it and doing their little chant was amazingly funny this morning. I had a rough morning, and that absolutely cheered me up. And again, it's a bunch more people that their whole thing is, we're not even going to give him a chance. He's the devil. He's Hitler. He's this, he's that. Give the man a chance. Let's see what he can do. I mean, it really can't be any worse than the last 8 years. I don't know about everybody out there, but the last 8 years been pretty hard on me. And he's the only chance we have right now. He's the only president. He's not going anywhere. Give him a chance, and let's see what he does. He's surrounded himself with some pretty good people. He's surrounded himself with some questionable people. But I think pretty much every president does that. And he deserves a chance to make things better. That's what we should all be hoping for. And if you're not hoping for that, I honestly think there's something wrong with you. This is our country. We want it to be better. If you don't hope for it to be better, there's a problem there. There's a serious disconnect.
All writers are prone to becoming so attached to our characters and stories that we struggle to see why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing to full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, shaping stories into masterpieces that can stand the test of time. Editing services are provided for all genres and all age categories. Services range from the critique of the short story through to line edits on full-length novels. We also offer assistance on generating writers' bios for your websites. We won't abandon you to the masses. We want to celebrate with you in your successes. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services and prices, visit us at blackwolfeditorial.com.
The following message contains a special offer for listeners of this station. Are you a man over 40? Are you constantly looking for the nearest bathroom? Do you wake up multiple times a night to use the bathroom? Right now, Perfect Prostate is sending out free bottles of their groundbreaking new formula to listeners of this station. Perfect Prostate Formula was developed by medical doctor Mitchell Fleischer, and its ingredients have been clinically studied to reduce your frequent nighttime bathroom visits and promote healthy urine flow. Right now, preferred customers get their first bottle of Perfect Prostate absolutely free. There's nothing to lose. Perfect Prostate is guaranteed to reduce that constant urge to use the bathroom, especially at night, and promote healthy urine flow. Don't wait. Call now for your free bottle. Just pay shipping and processing. Dial 1-800-675-0251. That's 1-800-675-0251. Supplies are limited. One free bottle per household. Call now. Dial 1-800-675-0251. That's 1-800-675-0251.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps stand ready to defend the American way of life. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Hey folks, I want to introduce you to a friend of mine, Dr. Richard Harden. We are on the same mission, which is waking up America. We just have different paths. So stay tuned for some information on how you can keep up with Richard and all his work.
Visit Richard's website at raharden.com. That's the World Wide Web at RAHARDIN.com. At his website, you can see a summary of the 6 books he has written, where purchases may be made. He also has a link to 18 videos on YouTube and several blogs about Christian beliefs. If you prefer, visit Amazon.com/Kindle and type in Richard Harden to see and purchase his books.
The following message contains a special offer for listeners of this station. Are you a man over 40? Are you constantly looking for the nearest bathroom? Do you wake up multiple times a night to use the bathroom? Right now, Perfect Prostate is sending out free bottles of their groundbreaking new formula to listeners of this station. Perfect Prostate Formula was developed by medical doctor Mitchell Fleischer, and its ingredients have been clinically studied to reduce your frequent nighttime bathroom visits and promote healthy urine flow. Right now, preferred customers get their first bottle of Perfect Prostate absolutely free. There's nothing to lose. Perfect Prostate is guaranteed to reduce that constant urge to use the bathroom, especially at night, and promote healthy urine flow. Don't wait. Call now for your free bottle. Just pay shipping and processing. Dial 1-800-675-0251. That's 1-800-675-0251. Supplies are limited. One free bottle per household. Call now. Dial 1-800-675-0251. That's 1-800-675-0251.
Hey everybody, we're back. I wanted to start this second half hour with something off of politics, something that kind of hit me yesterday. We lost somebody great yesterday, Mary Tyler Moore, who I grew up watching, both on the Dick Van Dyke Show and the Mary Tyler Moore Show, and in various movies. It really did hit me because she was kind of a huge part of my youth. The Mary Tyler Moore Show was by far one of the greatest sitcoms ever made. And I just wanted to say that she will be sorely missed. Major part of my growing up. And I'm really hoping 2017 doesn't end up being like 2016 with people that were, a major part of my growing up passing. But I guess I'm getting to that age where that's what happens. But again, rest in peace, Mary Tyler Moore. Just what a fantastic part of my youth. Both the Mary Tyler Moore Show and watching reruns of the Dick Van Dyke Show with my parents. It was one of my parents' absolute favorite shows, and she was fantastic in both shows. Anyway, to move on from that, other stuff going on with I mentioned the Shia LaBeouf thing and the Women's March. Some of the speeches that came out of that Women's March literally turned my stomach. And it's made, I think, this weekend much more special. This weekend is the March for Life. And I've been, again, very pleasantly surprised to see that one of the keynote speakers is going to be our Vice President, Mike Pence. And I know that the March for Life is going to be a polar opposite of what we saw last weekend. And that makes me happy. I think last weekend has helped accentuate what's going to happen this weekend. I think it's going to be a fantastic event. And leading up to it, we have some friends of both Rick and I did a hashtag this week that really moved me and moved a lot of people. And it was a hashtag on Twitter, and it's still still going, and people are still hitting it. But it moved me. There were a lot of tweets from people that just reading a tweet on Twitter, within 140 characters with a picture, just I sat there and read the hashtag, which is not just seeing what my friends wrote, but seeing just people come out from everywhere and write about children that they have that they weren't expecting, and what joy these children brought to their lives was just totally amazing to me. It just I'm sitting here now thinking about it, and it's actually well, I didn't even say the hashtag. The hashtag is my unintended joy. And all of these tweets, you need to go check it out, were from people who had unintended pregnancies and talking about how much joy that child brought to their lives. And I sat there for about an hour the night that this hashtag started, and just went through the hashtag reading, and it was absolutely moving. And I'd like to give a shout out to, I know that a good friend of ours was really instrumental in starting it. That's Stacy Lennox, and it took off. It trended for a couple days. And if you go to that hashtag, again, like I said, it's my unintended joy. It will move you. And it shows that abortion is not necessarily the answer. That child can change your life. I even had a friend of mine, and he was never married, and had a child, and he has custody of her now, and he went through some rough times, and his daughter, he said it in his tweet, his daughter saved his life. And he's an awesome dad, and he does everything with his daughter, and she saved his life. He and his girlfriend chose life, and it saved his life. She is his everything. It's just amazing. Everybody really needs to go. Everybody that's on Twitter needs to go to that hashtag and just go through there and look at the tweets. Absolutely amazing. And I really honestly believe that this weekend is going to be such a carbon copy of the vagina hats and the vagina costumes and the trash left all over DC, and celebrities saying that they think about blowing up the White House, and celebrities talking about their bloody sheets and their bloody jeans, and that men have no say in life or death of a child because we can't carry a baby. And this weekend is going to be the polar opposite. And again, please, if you're on Twitter, go check out the hashtag. And if you haven't seen it and you have a story, post it. It's a fantastic hashtag. And like I said, it was just a thought that came about. with a couple people. They came up with the hashtag, they put it out there, and it exploded. And we probably need more of that. But again, it moved me. Not just my friends' tweets, just going through it. I found myself going through it and hitting like and retweet constantly, which you can't see, by the way, because I'm suspended again. But hit the hashtag and look at it. It's absolutely amazing, and it's a great precursor to this weekend. March for Life. Promote it. It's going to be awesome. Anyway, so we've gotten through that. Tonight, something that I wanted to catch, and I caught a little bit of it. Everybody's buddy Sean Hannity got to do his interview at the White House with Donald Trump tonight. The little bit that I caught was amazingly reminiscent of Sean Hannity and Donald Trump during the primaries. That's something that I think Trump needs to distance himself from people like Sean Hannity, because it's, again, Sean Hannity leading him on every question. Because Sean Hannity wants to hear what Sean Hannity wants to hear. I wanted to catch the whole interview, and I wasn't able to between the time I got home from work and deciding I was going to fill in for Rick tonight and trying to get my stuff together. But it was awful. What I saw, it was absolutely awful. Fox needs to redirect themselves somehow, because I am now calling Fox the Breitbart of TV, and the people that made a little bit of a difference at Fox seem to be falling off. Megyn Kelly's gone. Gutfeld will still go and say or do and say whatever he wants to say. But for the most part, if you watch Fox and Friends in the morning and watch O'Reilly and watch Hannity and any of these shows, it's still kissing Trump's butt. That's one thing. I went to one extreme earlier in the show. I'll go to the other extreme. Stop kissing his butt. You have to stop doing that, because all that does is that in turn makes you look like what CNN and MSNBC have been for the last 8 years for Obama. You're doing exactly what you've complained about for the last 8 years. Turn it around. It needs to go more center. Even The Blaze is more center. The Blaze used to be the ultra white right wing network. They've got Tommy, and that's about it. Other than that, they don't kiss Trump's butt. If you want to be a real news organization, stop it. And if you're going to have people like Sean Hannity doing the interviews at the White House, Sean Hannity, who says, I'm not a journalist, I can say whatever I want. No, have one of your journalists. Have Brett Baer do it. Don't have Sean Hannity do it. Because Sean Hannity admittedly, is not a journalist. If you're going to do an interview, the first interview for your network with the President of the United States, don't have the guy that says, I can say and do whatever I want because I'm not a journalist, do the interview. That's just dumb to me. It should have been, even if it was one of the guys from Fox and Friends in the morning. Even Ducey, at least at one time, was a journalist. Have a journalist do the interview. Don't have a self-admitted non-journalist do it. Fox has thrown themselves into the pool with CNN and MSNBC and the rest of them. And they need to get it together. I don't know what they're going to do. I mean, I love Megyn Kelly, and she's gone. I, to be honest with you, a lot of people said a lot of nasty things about her, but she's fair. Brett Baer is fair. Two people right there. I don't see Brett possibly lasting that much longer at Fox, the way things are going, because I don't think he could be too happy about it, because he's a journalist. He's an on-air reporter, but he's fair. And I don't know what we're going to do media-wise. The Blaze isn't available everywhere. I don't get it. I can't watch it. I'll listen to Dana Loesch whenever I can. I think she's fair. I mean, she's definitely right-leaning, but she's not going to sit there and just gush over Trump. In fact, she very much doesn't gush over Trump. She is going to hold him accountable for his actions, which she's not a journalist. And that's why she's not getting an interview with President Trump at the White House. It needs to move. Things need to change in the media. I don't know who's going to come up with the money to do it. But I find myself more and more leaning towards getting my news from NPR and the BBC, because I can just get news. It's getting extremely hard to actually find news. I really like a little bit of opinion, and I know your voice is just trash, Rick, but I mean, do you agree with that?
I mean, I don't know. The biggest thing with me about all of this is I think we've gotten way too polarized in all of our media aspects. And I, like you, have started turning to things like NPR and BBC to try to get a lot of the news, especially if I'm doing show prep, because I want something to be unfiltered. And BBC and NPR do a pretty good job of calling things down the middle, and then I'm able to form my own opinion. I don't get all of the slant and the overtones and everything else that our media has become famous for. And to me, that is killing our media organizations, because it's not about news anymore. And I've said that on a lot of shows that I've done lately. It's not about bringing people the truth anymore. It's about bringing ratings. And on that note, I'm going to mute before I start coughing like crazy.
Yeah, no, thank you for chiming in. I really wanted to make sure that I wasn't the only one heading in that direction. And I mean, to be honest with you, a few years ago, before it went away, and it went away because of a couple people involved with it that really did have too much slant and said things that they shouldn't have. For a while, I actually watched Al Jazeera America, because their actual newscasts were fantastic and unbiased. It was just world news. I could actually come home and turn on Al Jazeera at 6 o'clock at night and actually get news, which I was missing from everybody else. Everything had a slant. And Al Jazeera America actually did a newscast that was just unslanted news. This is what's happening in the world. It's getting so hard to find that. And it drives me crazy. I mean, I grew up in the era of a little bit Cronkite, but mostly, Brinkley, Chancellor, where we sat down to dinner at night as a family and the news was on. I grew up watching people just give you the news, and nobody does anymore. Even you look at your local news, you get a little bit of this is what happened, that's what happened, and now we're going to do 10,000 fluff pieces for the next half hour. There's just no news anymore. I even remember when the local news did a segment of international news, and you don't get that anymore. There's no place other than the internet or PBS or NPR, honestly, or BBC to find real news. And I mean, I'm one that really did not like NPR or PBS for a long time. On PBS, I did like the McNeil Lehrer Hour when it was on. But other than that, where do we find news? It's hard on the internet because there's no real hard news sites. Every site has its leaning. And I really would love to see somebody come out with, it doesn't even need to be a network, but to come up with a show on a network that is just straight up news, where I can just turn it on or DVR it and be able to sit down and just watch actual, unbiased, nonpartisan, just news. What in the heck is going on in the world? Now, for world news, we do have our own Jessica Sanders on our network here, and she does a pretty good job with world news. And I love listening to her show, but when it comes to TV and it comes to terrestrial radio and everything else, it's just not there anymore. And it saddens me because, like I said, I grew up sitting at the dinner table watching Chancellor and Brinkley, and then after that, on into people like Brokaw. But those people seem to be gone. You see glimpses of it, and like I said, in people like Brett Baer, but it's just it's gone. It went away, and I don't know how it's going to come back. When you start relying on a British news network for your news in America, I think there's a problem. And I'm not running my clock, so I want to one more time with Rick just chime in. How long do we have?
You got about 60 seconds. Go ahead and start wrapping it up.
Okay. Well, you can catch Rick on Twitter at AOTR_host. And you can catch Rick and I maybe tomorrow night. If Rick's not feeling better, I'll try to find somebody to fill in on Robinson and Wright here on video. And
I'm sure I can tough
you
it
can
out for
find
at
me
least an
sort of
hour.
on Twitter. What's that?
If you know where to look. I'm sure I can tough it out for at least an hour. I don't know if we'll be able to do both, but I'm sure I can tough it out for at least an hour. I hope.
Okay.
May want to have somebody on standby just in case.
You can find me on Twitter sort of at Right1Dan. I'm having serious troll issues. So that's my account at the moment. hopefully that all gets straightened out with a bunch of appeals and people helping me with Twitter. And I'll have my main show account back up here soon. But anyway, like I said, you catch Rick and I tomorrow night. You can catch me on Wednesdays with Susan Swift. She's at Real Susan Swift on Twitter, on Constitution and Culture. And we are on at 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Pacific. And with that, I think this is a wrap.